Welcome back to Treasure Quest Mining's weekly treasure hunt series. We're going to walk around the shop, select 10 treasures, tag them with a blue dot, and then those treasures will be 20% off for the week. This week's treasure hunt runs from June 20th through June 27th. If you're local to the area, you can just come on by and shop the shelves. If you're not local, that's not a problem. Simply reach out to us over phone or email, and we can ship that treasure out to you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I do enjoy starting at the front of the shop so that when folks visit, they can walk around and find the treasures in order almost. So let's go ahead and start up here. And I think we are gonna stop right here and take a look at this smoky quartz and clear quartz collection. So these will be good ones to start with this week. So these quartz cluster pieces are mined in Arkansas by a family-run company. They've owned the mine for quite some time. And what they do is they take these clear quartz pieces, and those that are a bit smoky and not as clear, they run them through a radiation process. So they're irradiated, and that intensifies the dark smoky color. So I think we should pick a piece of smoky quartz from Arkansas for treasure number 1 for this week. And let's look at this piece right here. Oops, let's let the camera focus. There we go. This will be a good one. So this piece of smoky quartz is $26. It has a little rainbow right there in the front. I don't know if you can see that. This will be perfect. So this will be treasure number 1 for this week's treasure hunt. This piece of irradiated smoky quartz. Okay, that was easy to pick that one. That was quick. Treasure number 1 is picked. Now let's pick treasure number 2 for this week. We spent a lot of time on the wall last week. Let's see if we can find some treasures on these interior racks this week. How about some chocolate calcite? Let's take a look at that. So this material is from Pakistan, and it's called chocolate calcite. It also is with brown aragonite, and it has this amazing formation and super cool banding. And this piece is cute. So let's look at this piece. This piece of chocolate calcite is $36. It's polished all the way around. Oh, look, it spins. And it's got some great banding and patterns. So let's choose this piece as treasure number 2 for this week's treasure hunt, a $36 piece of chocolate calcite. Okay, sometimes it's hard to see the dots on these interior cabinets, but I think we can see that one pretty well. So there we go. Chocolate calcite from Pakistan is number 2. Let's turn back to this wall to find treasure number 3 for this week. We have a tremendous amount of amethyst. I love these pieces. They're spectacular. And these are phantom amethyst, which are pretty great. And these are chevron amethyst pieces. I think we should pick a piece of chevron. The chevron amethyst is called that because of the pattern. Some people call it dog's tooth amethyst, and I think there's some other names like dream amethyst. They keep kind of coming up with new naming conventions for this material, but let's pick this one. This one's pretty great. I love the depth of color in that piece. So let's focus on this piece. This piece of amethyst is $48. It has some really, really nice patterns to it, depth of color. And this piece of amethyst is from Madagascar, and that'll be treasure number 3 for this week. And this piece of chevron amethyst, it's $48, treasure number 3. Okay, I think we can see that dot pretty well. So there we go, treasure number 3. And we'll still hang out on this wall to find treasure number 4. How about malachite? We're able to get some beautiful pieces of malachite for our summer collection. Very high grade quality with lots of fantastic patterns. It'll be hard to pick. Okay, sometimes when I'm making these videos, I have to push pause and take time off camera to find a piece. And I was drawn to these two pieces. So I think we'll go with this piece. The patterns on this one are amazing. So this piece of polished malachite is $42. And it is from Africa. Look how gorgeous those patterns are. And it's nice and thin, so it makes for a really good sized display piece. Malachite's quite heavy. It has a lot of copper in it. That's what gives it the green color. And because of that weight, rocks are sold by weight. So oftentimes a smaller, more dense piece can weigh more, right? And you just don't get as much surface area to look at. So I think this is a good one because you have a lot of surface area to browse and enjoy. And it's nice and thin, so it makes it a more affordable piece. So this piece of malachite will be treasure number 4 for this week's treasure hunt. Okay, I think we should definitely pick a piece of jewelry for this week. And it's definitely summertime, so the Larimar is quite popular. Let's pick a Larimar pendant for this week. Larimar is found in the Dominican Republic, and it definitely gives you those tropical vibes, right? Looks just like the beautiful ocean. So let's pick this piece. It has a fun shape, some fantastic patterns, and some depth of color. So this piece of Larimar set in silver is $34, and this will be treasure number 5 for this week. Okay, now let's head down the hall to pick the other treasures. Oh, I think we should pick a megalodon tooth. That would be cool for this summer. So let's pick a megalodon tooth. I'm gonna go get the keys to the cabinet and I'll be right back. Okay, we've got the case opened up and now it's time to choose a tooth. All of our megalodon teeth are scuba diver recovered in the waters of South Carolina, North Carolina, occasionally in the Florida waters. That's what gives them all the different colors is the sediment in which it was buried and the minerals that replace the organic matter. This tooth is perfect. I keep coming back to this one, so let's look at this tooth. Okay, now that we're focused in, this root is pretty perfect. The brulette is in great shape, it's intact, and so is the enamel. The only thing missing on this tooth is the serrated edges, but other than that, it's a pretty perfect piece. This meg tooth is $149, and we're gonna tag this one as treasure number 6 in this week's treasure hunt. A piece of septarian. So these septarian concretions, or geodes, are from Utah, and they're super fun. So let's pick a piece of septarian. I'm thinking we'll pick this one. There we go. Now we can see it a bit better. So these pieces of septarian or septarian slabs are from Utah, and they have this incredibly deep yellow calcite formation and some aragonite as well. Septarians are concretions or balls of mud that are fossilized. That's kind of the easiest way to describe them, that formed around decaying sea life. And so they're pretty neat geologically, and they fluoresce. So you guys know how we feel about fluorescent things. Fluorescent things are awesome. So let's have this piece be our treasure number 7 for this week, a $40 septarian slab from Utah. Okay, I tried to make that blue dot pretty obvious. So there's treasure number 7, and let's pick treasure number 8. We picked a piece of fluorite last week. Let's pick another piece of fluorite this week. And I think we should focus on these pieces from Nigeria. So these pieces of fluorite are pretty spectacular. They have an amazing cubic structure. I'll show you the big sister up here. So this big sister, this big specimen, has massive cubes, and they're covered in quartz. And one of the coolest features about this material is its fluorescence. So here I'm shining the light on it. Look how incredibly blue this material is. So let's pick a little sister to feature for this week's treasure hunt. Ooh, look how blue these guys are. All right, let's pick a piece. Okay, you know I had to go off camera for a moment to try to pick a piece, and I picked this one. So let's pick this piece of fluorite. This piece of fluorite has a little bit of pyrite and quartz crystals on it. So this is a fun piece. It has an incredible fluorescence. This piece of fluorite from Nigeria is $32, and it'll be treasure number 8 this week. Okay, and last week I wanted to feature some afghanite, so we're just going to hang out right here and pick a piece of afghanite. So both the fluorite and the afghanite are considered a rare material. It's a very scarce, very limited quantity. The afghanite is from a sodalite group of minerals, and it's found in Afghanistan. And it also fluoresces, but I think we'll just pick a cool piece because it's cool. This one will be good. So this material also has a bit of a shimmer as well. It doesn't show up on camera, but you'll love it when you see it in person. So this afghanite tower is $26. And we'll go ahead and pick this one as treasure number 9. Okay, and let's pick treasure number 10. And I think we'll definitely go over to this side of the room. We've definitely expanded our bug and butterfly collection, and we've got some bats now for those of you that like oddities. But I think, oh, and a scorpion. But I think we should focus on a gifty item. So let's pick one of these gamal pieces. So these pieces are made in Bali in Indonesia, and they're made from the roots and material of the gamal tree. That's why they're called gamal candles and vases. And the artists blow the glass right into the wood, and it burns the wood, right, of course. And then the piece is meant just for that particular piece of wood. I think we should look at the candle. So the candle will be perfect. These candles are $39, and that's a super fun one. It has some great character to it. Yeah, perfect. That's a great way to wrap up this week. So this will be treasure number 10, this $39 gamal candle holder. Well, that was an easy pick this week. Picked items 1 through 10 pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and retrace our steps. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's treasure hunt. We'll see you next week.